Hi everybody, this is Christy at Red Echo Studio, and tonight we're going to do a little bit of painting. I challenged myself to try to do a little bit of painting every night, so we're going to try that tonight. I'm going to start playing with watercolors. I've always wanted to learn how to do them, so we'll just hang on a little bit and see if I wonder if I have an animal stuck in here with me, because I heard something. Oh, no, dog's being fed. So we'll see. My audience is still pretty light, and that's okay, because we're just starting. So as you can see, I'm still dealing with the COVID hair, even though it's gray. I decided a while back I can't handle the dye anymore. I had a couple of allergic reactions to it, so we are going all natural nowadays. So I'm trying to see if I can find comments. We'll just play around a little bit here. Ah, there's Kelly. I thought I was alone in this. I'm just waiting a little time for some other people to join us, but tonight I'm gonna do a little bit of watercolor painting, and I tried a little bit earlier, and I may revert back to my old tried and true acrylics on top of it. But the goal for this month is to teach myself how to do watercolors. I've always wanted to do it. I've done several murals where in my mind I wanted a watercolor effect and I just couldn't quite get it, that really, really soft look. And I probably won't get there tonight, but you gotta try. So I'm trying to create a schedule. Hi. I'm trying to create a schedule of events so that I have a little bit more of a consistent idea of what I'm doing in the studio, and to actually call it that. I went with that name because I wanted to do a variety of things, and I wanted to learn new things, because part of making things for me is the fun of learning something new, or the challenge. So tonight, I think on Wednesdays, I'm going to call it Why Not Wednesdays. And the reason I'm calling it Why Not is because I know Kelly knows, but for those of you that may watch this later that don't know, my daughter Darren, my youngest daughter, is a pretty successful young diver, and one day she was at the pool, and one of the college coaches, she dives downtown at the natatorium, and one of the college coaches was there, and on that wall they have a whole list of Olympians' names that have made it at Olympic trials there at the pool. And one day Eric said to her, he says, why not you? He screams it across the pool deck. And she's like, what do you mean? Why is he yelling at me? And he's like, why not you? And she totally didn't understand what he meant and why he was yelling. And he says, why can't your name be up there? Why can't your name be up there? Because she just doesn't quite have that idea that she could do it. So I decided if he could tell her that, and I need to set a better example of what I can do in my life, because she may not watch, but I think I would rather set a better example for my kids. So I decided, why not me? Why can't I do something new? And why can't I say, for years I always said I wasn't an artist, I'm a crafter, because I copy a lot of things. But that doesn't mean, when I read the definition of artist, just because I make things doesn't mean they have to be in a gallery, or I don't know, they don't have to be these huge works of art. And part of what makes me good at copying things is being observant. And to do that, I do a lot of comparisons, which gets me in trouble. So over the years, it's really hurt my self-esteem with things. I know one time I went to a chalk walk up in Fort Wayne, and it was supposed to be this really cool time where I could be with a bunch of artists, and we all just were going to make all this really cool art on the streets, and it really was cool. I mean, there were so many people doing neat things. And I thought, I can hold my own, you know, and I was working away, and I look over to the guy next to me, and his art was stunning. I mean, we're talking, it could have jumped off the street. It was so stunning. And I let it get to me. I just totally let it defeat me. I just thought, oh, I'm not good enough to do this. I'm average. But I'm learning that it doesn't matter. I can do it anyway, because there's a spot for everybody, and I don't have to be competitive at it. I can just enjoy what I'm doing and learn something new. So Wednesdays are going to be Why Not Wednesdays. So today I want to learn, I'm going to try to challenge myself every day to do a little painting, but today I'm going to play with watercolors. So we'll see how it goes. So the plan is, and I got to tell you, I've got my office rigged up because my husband was going to videotape, but instead I've got this board across, and I'll have to show it to you in a minute, but it's pretty crazy. But I bought, my goal was, and I'm going to turn things around here in a bit, and I can talk while I'm showing you what I've got doing. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around. But oh yeah, look at this board I've got rigged in front of my table. So we're going to, okay. And hopefully my camera won't fall off of here. Let me know if you can see okay. All right, it may be a little crooked, but that's what we've got. Okay, so I bought these cards at Joann's. They're just little stationery. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do something really tiny, but I wanna do a painting that I can put, once I cut this out, I'm going to put it on here, and I think I'm going to sew it actually with my sewing machine, which is something I used to do with scrapbooking. But I'm going to sew it on there with like a little bit of burlap or something fun to go with it and embellish it a bit. So that's why what I'm doing is so tiny tonight. And I've got my watercolors here. I got all sorts of pretty colors. And usually they're way too bright for me because I'm used to acrylics. All right, let me know if you guys are having trouble seeing it, and I can change things up. I think we'll get a little more light when I move my paints here. Okay, so the goal is going to be to start out with watercolors, and if I don't like it, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back in, and okay, I have my brush laying here. There it is. All right. So I'm gonna get the background started. I don't know, can I zoom in? No, I don't think I can zoom. Sorry, ladies. So I'm gonna put my paints on this side. So I wanna get a little bit of back, like sky color first. So I'm just gonna mix a bunch. And I have a palette next to me in my chair that's gonna let me, if I need to really dilute it, because that's gonna be really, really strong. So I'm gonna just kind of keep diluting it and diluting it and diluting it, because I just want a little hint of water. And we're gonna go in, and we're gonna do just a little bit of background, because I want that soft look of the watercolors. I don't want a ton. I just want a little bit to soften it. And again, I really don't know what I'm doing. I saw a friend of mine that was a diving mom. Hi, Angie. And she's been posting online some cool things she's done. And I thought, oh, wow, Ashley knows how to watercolor. So I reached out to her today and I said, hey, would you want to get together sometime and show me how to do it? And she laughed. She goes, I do it off of Pinterest. She goes, I really don't know what I'm doing. So, but she's really good when she plays around at it. So, all right, so what I'm trying to do is, my garden right now, my irises are like really blooming. I have these Japanese iris and they're so pretty. So I'm gonna do 3 flowers. There's gonna be one here, and then a couple of little buds. But before I do those, I wanna go in and do a little bit of green. So we're gonna try to do, and I actually may throw a little bit of brown in there. Let's see, just to kind of give me a little bit of a baseline here. And if I think that's too bright, I can always rinse my brush off and go back in and grab some of that off. At least I think I can. Like, I really don't know what I'm doing, folks. This is just gonna be for fun tonight. and something to challenge myself with and learn. And we'll see where we're going. So let's throw in, can you see it's really tiny tonight, but we're gonna grab a little bit of green. And I figure worst case scenario, and I told Kelly and Stephanie earlier, you know, if it doesn't work out, I may go in with some watercolor or with some acrylics, which is what I know. That's what I usually work with. And I want leaves, and I want them somewhat dark. We're gonna start with a little bit of dark. So let's see. And if I get too blurry with it, I think that's gonna be okay. I just know that this first layer is gonna have to be probably pretty dark. Oh, and I have an ant. Does anybody else have ants in their house this time of year? With all the rain, it's been crazy ant season. So, and if anybody's got any solutions for getting rid of them, please let me know. All right, so the one thing that always challenges me with watercolors is the brightness. See, to me that's just too bright. I want something a little bit more the color I want. So I'm always fighting the colors. I'm being too bright or not enough. But right. And if I have to come back in, where's my other one? I tell you, I need my readers. This is so tiny. I can't quite. Tarot works great, does it? Oh. Well, I have a guy that comes out, but I'm about ready to get rid of him just because, you know, the no flying thing right now. All right, I think I need a smaller brush. I'm just getting way too much water. My lines are fatter than I want. So I had my, there's my paintbrush. So let's try a thinner line. I think I'm just getting too much water. All right, let's see if this makes any difference. I know I want the line that's going up to the flowers. I want this to be finer and I want it more defined. Somebody told me too that when you do watercolors, which of course I don't know this yet, but they said when you do them, they barely paint with any water. Like, it's so light. And I just haven't figured that out yet. Carpenter ants bad now? Oh. You know, that's what drove me to call somebody in the first place, is we had them upstairs and I thought, oh no, we're not dealing with this. So let's see if I can't. Yeah, that little brush is working much better, I think. I still want to go like what I do with acrylics, you know? I want that bold color. I don't want just a little bit of, let's see if I can get a better green. It's always just way too bright. It's like it looks like you colored it. Okay. Let's see if I can go back in and add just a little bit more definition there. Maybe that'll help. It's because my irises are really leafy, but I'm not loving that. Let's see, what can I add to that? A little bit of green, maybe? So does anybody have any, since my irises are blooming, What's everybody else got going on? Anybody got some flowers that they're loving right now? My peonies smell wonderful. I brought them into the house, but problem is keeping the cat out of them because the kitty really likes them. All right, let's see if we can add some purple because my irises are purple. And these irises that I have, they came with the house, and I've divided them so many times. I have nowhere else to put them. In fact, they're so invasive, I finally decided, I'm like, okay, you know, I'm gonna just be done with it. And I think I gave some to my mom. All right, we're gonna, it's looking more like an acrylic than a watercolor, but hey, that's okay. It can work. Let's see. Let's go this way. So let's see. Yeah, so this is all about me challenging myself. Has anybody got anything that they've given up on in their life that they originally were just intimidated and thought they couldn't do it? For me, it's art. Believe it or not. I think I'm just gonna block these in. And then I can come back in and do some filling. Hi, Dana. We're experimenting tonight. I love watercolors. I've just never been able to figure them out, how to do them. So, and I thought too, you know, instead of whining about that I don't know how to do them, I think maybe I just need to challenge myself with, you know, learning how to do them. And see where it goes, you know. Practice makes perfect. And I always thought, oh, with art, either you have it or you don't. And I'm learning, you know, that's not true. So practice will make a difference. So, I mean, I complain about how I could never do a sport, you know, I'm not athletic, blah, 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 blah. Well, I am artistic, but it doesn't mean that it's not, that it doesn't need to be practiced. Just like everything else. And the practice is the fun part. So I'll just do this every night, and at some point, hopefully, I'll, that's how you feel? Yeah, it's just, I let things intimidate me way too much. And it's silly, because it's like, why, you know? It's because I think somebody at some point told me different, or I didn't win a competition, because believe it or not, you know, there were art competitions in school too that totally threw me. There were about 3 people in my class growing up that could draw, that you thought, okay, they're my competition. And then you hit the big bad world, and it's like, all right, if I could do something that no one else ever does, then it would be great. Yes, the comparisons kill me. That's like my big challenge of what I have to stop doing. And it's so automatic, and I don't quite understand why, but it is so hard. It's like, that's the first thing I do, and it's just not a good thing. I'm gonna see if I can go back and add some stems now that that's drying out just a little bit. Let's see if we can go back in with a finer line. I think if I clear up the tree or the leaves on the bottom, I could live with this. Yes, it does paralyze you, and it has for years, you know. I had Darren, you know, one time say, well, I don't want to be like you. I don't, you know. And I thought, well, why? What? Oops, that was me dropping stuff because I'm also really clumsy. Oh. All right, let me clean that up just a second. All right, now we're good. But yeah, was just I'm always stuck with what kind of example am I setting. And it's so much pressure that I decided, you know what, this time I'm going to just do this for me. You know, my kids are, I feel like, at a point where I can, oh, well, you're sweet. Thank you, Ange. But I just compare it too much. And so, now see, I was doing so well. I just don't love that. Okay. All right, let's see. What can I do with that? I really like how the flowers at the top look. I'm not loving the leaves, so I gotta keep tinkering with those. Oh, you do not. I think, Steph, you know what I really think with you is you're so much like Ange in that you're good with your hands and you're good at, you know, oops, well, my dog's gonna serenade us because heaven forbid somebody walks by my house. Oh, and Todd's gonna get her good. But you're good at being a mom, you know, and nobody ever says, oh yeah, what's your favorite thing? Well, I like being a mom. That just gets overlooked sometimes. Let's see if we can add a little bit of, that's a little better. I always was so frustrated when, you know, when the airlines went bad and Todd got laid off. And I thought, well, I know a lot of people that were happy with jobs like being a teacher, which is a great job, don't get me wrong, but they had a calling. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. And it's like, how can I be almost, well, I'm 50. How can I be 50 and have never found a career? You know, nothing. No, and I didn't have an immediate way to go get a way to help him or contribute to the family, and it really throws me. And I think even with this, ooh, that was a little bit too much, I think. Let's quit less talking and more painting. But it always bothered me that I didn't have that known career of this is exactly what I want to do, you know. It was like I wanted to be a mom, and beyond that I didn't really find anything, you know, nothing appealed. When I went one time to go back to college, when I realized that I needed to go back to college, and I remember going into the oh, what do you call it, the admission person, you know, to talk about what you want to do, and she's like, so what do you want to do? And I said, well, I want to study art. She's like, did you take it in high school? I'm like, well, no, but I've been told that I'm decent at it, you know. And she just, her face was like, okay. And I let it intimidate me, and I walked out and never thought about it again. You know, I was like, okay, I guess I'm not cut out. Oh, I'm liking that. That's not terrible. I'm still not loving the leaves, but I think I could live with this. All right, guys. Well, if I play with it too much, then I'm going to be, I think, done. I'm still not crazy about the leaves, but if I keep tinkering, but I think this is doable. Would you buy that if it was on a card? Because that's what I think we'll do. We're going to cut it out and throw a little burlap on it, and I think that's doable. Woohoo! Yay! It was, I'm so happy. So I think I'll put a little bit of text of something down here, just real simple script. Thanks, Ange. So next time, and I may even try it down here if I have enough room. Can you guys see the whole screen? I forget what's down here. I may even try a little bit more, because I saw this in my bathroom downstairs. I have this feather, and I was in there tonight, and I thought, oh, I want to see if I can do that feather, because I thought it was kind of cool. So I may tinker. It was so simple, and I thought, okay, and the V's went up. Ooh, that's a lot of water. Hold on. Let me get that. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to let that work to my advantage. Because I was reading, I got this handy dandy little guidebook on teaching yourself. What is it? Ooh, that's a, sorry, really close up. So it's watercolor painting guide. And I was reading through that because I thought, okay, I've tried with these dry paints before. I'm going to see what it's like when you actually like buy the tubes of paint, of watercolor paint, and see if it, you know, is any good. And it just, it didn't work for me. It was hard. So I'm like, okay, we'll keep playing. So we're going to add a little bit of blue in here. And I need to keep it softer at the top. And then we're going to come down. Because it was almost like it was a V when I was looking at that feather. And I thought, oh, I bet I can do a feather. So now if I add some water to the other side, if I come in over here and pre-wet it. So anyway, in my book, it said there are, you know, different techniques with how to do a feather, you know, how to paint watercolors. And one of them was dry on wet. So you had a dry piece of paper and then you added, you know, water to it, or it was wet on wet, which is kind of what I'm trying here, which is you put your paper or your water on your paper first, just clear, and then you go back in with your little bit of paint and it tends to want to float on that and be a little more what watercolor supposedly, you know, is. I'm not getting enough of a V. It needs to be flat, you know, geese in formation. Thanks, Steph. Do you need a flower or a feather? See, I teach you how to do feathers. Hi, Mom. We're painting a feather. I did my irises, and they didn't turn out half bad. So I'm playing around with doing a feather. And it was still supposed to be flaky, like feathery down here. Feathery, huh? See? Let's add a little bit of gray to that because my feather was blues and grays. And I don't know why I got browns in there. I'm going to just lay this in and then I'm going to come in with a little more water and dilute it. And see if I can't get that to float just a little bit better. All right, let's see what we got. And let's go up here. One of these days on my, I'm trying, like I said earlier, I'm trying to get a schedule of different things that I'll do on different nights. And one of the things I want to do too is I'm gonna figure out macrame. See, I spend way too much time on Pinterest, so this is also a test to me of getting off just watching Pinterest and actually trying it. And in the past, you know, Pinterest is tricky. It's one of those things where you could really go down a dark hole quick because you need like a Pinterest, you know how there's a reason why people say there's Pinterest fails. But yeah, let's see. Ah, too much water. Oh well, maybe that's what I want. I'm looking a little more watercolory. All right. Let's blend that just a little bit more. And if I get down here, it's like the feather gets wispy. And it points down just a little bit. Is it looking like a feather? I think I got a little too rigid here. Maybe a little farther up. It's looking more like a leaf. Let's get a little bit of blue. So who was able to enjoy the outside today? Anybody take advantage of our weather? It kind of was hit or miss here with rain, but we got a couple yards of mulch thrown in today, which was needed badly. And we still ran out. So we got some more to do. I still want more definition, I think. Let's go in and do, oops, wrong color. Let's add a little bit of spine to that. It's just a thin line. I really like this little brush. Let's go in, add just a little bit. Is it too much water? It's a lot. Let's see. I think I need to stop at that. So yeah, we got to work on feathers, but I'm happy with my flowers, so I'll have to challenge myself with a new flower next week. Or, well, not next week, I guess tomorrow. I've been taking all sorts of pictures because everything looks really good right now in my yard. So, oh, you went for a walk today, but it was so mucky when you got ice cream. Well, you always need a reason to get ice cream. So, I bet the girls love that. Alrighty, guys. I think that's it for tonight. Thanks for cheering me on. And we'll... You think it looks good? Let me turn this around. Yay, it was an experiment. So, so yeah, I'm going to keep working on the quilt that I have going, and we'll do some more painting tomorrow. So I don't know that I'll go live tomorrow, but at least on these Wednesdays, I think we'll do more of these and see where it takes us. So I'm glad they went, or I'm glad they had fun. They're so cute, stuff. Enjoy them while they're young. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.